you started getting interested in music at age 19. But can you remember when you heard the first song that really blew you away, even before that time maybe?
Yeah, I was like 2 years old.
You still remember that?
I do actually. I remember the first song I ever fell in love with was Sade's Smooth Operator. My mom was a really big fan, so it was playing around the house a lot, and I really liked it. I think I probably danced around to it a lot.
Song from Israel?
No, actually I was living in Frankfurt at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What intrigued you in that song?
I don't know, I was 2.
Yeah. And maybe when you heard it later,
yeah, I mean now, you know, I definitely connected to a lot of memories of when I was a kid and, you know, being with my parents in Europe when they were still together, so, yeah.
Do you have a lot of that kind of musical memories?
Yeah, for me, I think I connect songs to certain times in my life. I think it's probably the same for a lot of people. You know, if you put a certain record on, it'll bring you back to a certain moment or a certain place that you were in.
Yeah, because you've traveled a lot when you were young. In what kind of countries have you been?
I lived in Israel, and then I lived in Frankfurt, and when I was living in Frankfurt for 6 years, we spent a lot of time in Budapest in Hungary, and also in Paris. And then lived in Israel again, and then moved to California. And then when I was, you know, old enough to kind of decide where I wanted to live, I moved to New York.
Well, I've written down the names of the places because you said that specific song reminded you of the time in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
What was that? What musical memory do you have from Budapest then? Do you remember that as well?
Yeah, I don't think I have a specific musical memory of Budapest. For me, Budapest was also, actually, the one thing I connected to the most is train rides, because we always used to take the train to Budapest. But no musical memories specifically connected to that, no.
Well, let's try the next one, Paris.
Yeah, Paris, I think I listened to a lot of what my family listened to, so like Charles Aznavour and like, you know, actually French acts was a lot of the stuff that was playing in my uncle and aunt's houses and stuff like that.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Yeah, when you went back to Israel, is that also attached to a certain musical memory?
Yeah, but again, the musical memories in Israel were like local Israeli acts. There's one singer who's quite famous in Israel called Rita, and she's been famous probably for like 25 years. She's our biggest sort of female singer. And the 2 years that I spent there for 1st and 2nd grade, my mom and my grandmother, who we were living with, listened to her a lot. Okay.
And when you went to, what age were you when you went to America?
I was 8.
8. So.
Well, I was 9 actually. I was just about to turn 9. Yeah.
What do you remember of the time?
In general, I just remember being totally in awe. You know, America was like a totally different thing than everywhere else. It is still now, you know, the country in itself, and the way everything is and the way everything looks is very modern and new compared to, you know, compared to the rest of the world. So it was really exciting. America was kind of, you know, a huge adventure compared to everywhere else.
Because what did your parents do? Why they had to travel so much?
My mother got remarried to my stepfather, and he worked in Los Angeles. Even though he was from Israel as well, so he moved us over there with him. Yeah.
And the traveling in Europe itself? Why was that?
My dad was he was a gypsy, so yeah, so he moved around a lot, and I think that just kind of led us to, you know, living in a bunch of different countries. And my mom worked in hotels, so it was easy. She's a photographer, she's an artist as well, so it was easy to kind of move around.
What kind of impact did it have on you when you were young? Not staying at the same place for for a long time.
I think it causes you to grow up a little bit faster, and you know, learn how to deal with different situations quickly and adapt really quickly when you move around that much. In general, I mean, it probably fed into what I do now, but it also prepared me for what I do now.
Yeah. But those are the positive things, but I can also mention that it has a downside sometimes as well.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to sleep in your own bed and you know, hang out in your own house and cuddle with your cats, which, you know, you don't get to do when you travel a lot. Those to me are the biggest downsides, is just missing being in my own home.